Do you guys believe that before getting married, do you guys think that everyone should have a hoe phase? I don't know. This is my laptop thing. I don't know why I'm holding it. Because I know Will just brought it up about him getting married and then his phase after that. Should have had it before. Why is that? Why do you think you should have that phase before getting married?
To get them thoughts out. Because once you settle down, it's the one you got to be with the rest of your life. Now, when I say
because my husband didn't have that phase.
Oh,
I have that phase in high school, but he didn't.
Who's gonna go first?
Go ahead, Will.
I'll go first.
Will, do you want
to go first, or do you want me to go first?
It doesn't matter.
I'll go first.
I guess I'll.
Go ahead.
Oh, no, you go.
No, go ahead. You go.
All right, so I had my phase, and because like I said, like I didn't grow up like that. Like I always wanted to have. I was that kid who thought about. I wasn't thinking about, okay, I'm gonna smash the girl or whatever. I was like, oh, I'm gonna jump out of a helicopter. I'm gonna beat up her boyfriend and make him pay child support, and they don't even have kids. Like I was that kind of simpy dude, right? So I always wanted to have a relationship like that. That's what I was aspiring to. But then, after that first, marriage, and then it failed, I was like, you know what? Then I went through like, Snoop Dogg had a song. He was like, so if you caught the melody, that's how I felt. And then it was like, okay, I kind of have the secret because I know that if I act like I'm married, I'm gonna get a whole like they just threw themselves on you. I don't know why that was, but like I attracted single and married women too, just by me saying I was married. So I went through that phase, and it was like every single night, so it was, once I got that out of my system, then it was like, man, I don't need any of that in my life. There was a lot of drama that came with that, death threats. I mean, there's all kind of stuff that came with that. So to me, it's like, you kind of need that if you're not mature enough to understand, like, the things that come with life. Hopefully you do, that's not what you need. But if you do need that whole phase, then you do. Then you just have to. That just has to be your route. And for guys, I don't think guys, they don't want to hear that. Like, oh damn, you had a whole phase? What? Oh my God, who did that? They did what? But then that brings another whole set of issues, because it's like, if you had a whole phase, you better keep your whole phase up when you get married to me, because it's like, you can't tell me, this goes back to what we talked about. I don't know if we were already recording or not, but like, most women have the ones that I know, and the guys, their wives, all of them had their whole phase. So they had their whole phase, but now you get married, now you don't want to be a hoe no more. If you're gonna be a hoe, you need to be a hoe after you got married, but you don't want to be a hoe no more. So then that's when that brings a whole lot of that brings a lot of conflict, because it's like, okay, you did this, and what else did you do? You did all this stuff, but you're not gonna do it to me.
I know, right?
All the time. Mm-hmm. So that's just something that you have to keep up. So I'm going on a tangent, but yeah, a whole phase is necessary if you're not mature enough to understand and learn from just being a single person, and you didn't have that home training or whatever. I had the home training, but it's like I didn't. I had a perception about what I thought women were, but I also came from a background of I was molested by like an older woman, so I also had my thoughts of how women were and all of that. So those kind of things, like that's a whole nother discussion, but there's a lot of guys out there that have been sexually abused by older women, and then they go and then they're like, okay, these women ain't they ain't this and they ain't that. So they take that same attitude and then they damage a whole bunch of women. It's a big cycle.
Wow.
You know,
Yeah.
big cycle. So, but people want to ignore what happens to the guys. But if you ignore that, you're ignoring all of these girls. I'm talking lots of girls. You know, once you have a guy who, you know, like me, when I figured out, okay, I know how to access all of these women in their very most vulnerable stages, you know, and then he takes advantage of it. For all of these women, I've damaged all of these women. To this day, like I get messages and, you know, they're fake accounts and all of that. I'm like, okay, you kind of sound like such and such. You sound like, you know, I kind of remember I did that to, you know, and I feel bad about it. But it's like, and then some of them I have no idea. I don't remember doing these things to, because, you know, either I didn't care or I was dealing with something else. But you know, we ignore these things that happen to men, and then the men take that, or boys take that, and they spread it around. So I don't know. Like I said, I'm going off on tangents, but
No, you're good.
Oh yeah. No.
Uh,
Go ahead, Lila.
I mean, all right. So when I said yeah earlier, so whole phase for me, it's probably not even the right term to use, because like I don't think you have to like sleep with different people just to know like
What you want in life.
Yeah, I mean, like just to know that, oh, I'm ready to settle and be with that girl. What was your question?
Oh, I was just saying
Right.
before getting married, do you guys think that's like something you guys should do? Like, is that like recommended? I guess.
I mean, if you, yeah, I guess if you're into that, me personally, it's more like if I'm into somebody, I'm that type to just give it my all. So like, once you have my attention, like you got all of me. And so yeah, you finna slut me out, I'm finna slut you out too. You know what I mean? But like, I don't know, like I don't like I don't know. I just think it's cool to experience all.
We went from hoe to slut.
I mean, like it's cool to experience. You know, just to know that just to say that you did it. You can still do it with the one that you love, the one that you married. You know, but like just to be able to like, I don't know what Will said. I'm gonna just say that what he said. I'm gonna go with that. Yeah. I don't know. I don't need it though. I don't think the whole phase is needed.
No, I like what Will said when he said the whole key word was maturity. Like, I think that's probably why. Because I always wonder that, like in the beginning of me and my husband, I always wondered that like you never really got to experience, you know, the young life. Like we got married at 19, you know, and he's always like, because I don't need to experience it. You know, he knows what he wants, and yeah. But I was just always like wondering that, just for those that are thinking about it.
I believe him though. I believe him. If you know, you provided all his needs right up front, and he's like, I don't need that. That's how I felt in the beginning. Like, I don't need none of that. I don't need none of that. That only came after, you know, I thought I had something, and then I didn't. Then it was like, okay, she wasn't what I thought she was. That's when I was like, okay, why did I waste my time doing that? You know, I could have been out here doing this and doing that, because in that whole time, just like, you know, your husband probably goes to work and he's probably curbing all these different chicks because, you know, they're like, oh, he's married, you know, he got to be a good man, you know, he's husband, he's, you know, Tongan, Samoan, whatever. And it's like, he's probably just, he knows that he can get him, but he's like, he ain't interested in that.
Yeah.
But if something were to happen, he's like, wow, you know I have this power. It's like you discovered that he's discovering, well, I don't know that situation. For me, I was like, you know, I discovered that I could pull different girls if I wanted to, but I just didn't. I didn't care to, because that wasn't my position in life. But then after that, it's like, man, what? I wasted a lot of time messing with this chick. It's like, now everybody who was in my DMs, or they looked at me
like, I'm
cross-eyed,
gonna live my best life.
right, I'm talking to every one of them. I'm gonna see what they're talking about right now, and that's what I did.
Yeah, I totally agree with what everybody said. I don't think you need to go through a whole phase. But I would say is if you're curious and you're always looking, that I think you need to.
Oh,
You know,
yeah.
if you're always thinking about it, like you're not ready to be monogamous.
Yeah, you're definitely not ready to get
And
married.
you need to go out there and throw that thing. Yeah, if you because I know people personally like they are in relationships, but they're always like thinking about it. I'm like, it's just I already know it's like it's a matter of time. You know,
Right.
it's a matter of time it's gonna happen. But yeah, if you're always thinking about it, you should stay away from being in a monogamous relationship and go do your thing. But like but sometimes for some people they just know what they want, like your husband, right? They know exactly what they know. What they found somebody to fulfill all their needs, and they're content with that. But I would say this for all the women out there who are going through a whole phase, and you meet the man of your dreams, do not tell him about your whole phase.
Well, my husband knew, so
Yeah, he's like that 1%. He's that 1%. That 99% telling you if you have a whole phase, and do not tell you, just do not. I guess that's one of the lies you have to make, because it's better off for me like not knowing.
I never
Get
asked.
married to somebody.
Yeah. I'm telling you, because for men, body count, like a woman's body count, we do take that into consideration, especially
yeah.
when it comes to marriage. Yeah, but for women, I know for a lot of girls, when I talk to them, they don't really care about if a guy has a high body count. It's irrelevant to you guys. But for guys, we're opposite. Like, we do care.
It's irrelevant to us.
Yeah, I've asked multiple girls in the show, if a guy has a high body count, do you matter?
It matters.
They're like, oh, for them, oh, he knows what he's doing. Like that's the way they see it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I just don't want to bump into nobody and they'd be like, oh yeah, I know your husband.
Right.
Like, how you know my husband?
Yeah. But yeah, I just noticed when I ask girls, like, I mean, there some girls, a lot of girls, they don't really care about a guy's body count. But for guys, we're opposite. Like, then that number, that number does matter to us when it comes to, especially if we're gonna marry you. It's gonna marry you.
Yeah.
We don't walk into a room and every guy look at their woman like, oh, I know her. I was like, damn, that sucks.